see the gap, top of the picture?
Another great restart for D'Amata. Junqueira away cleanly. Franchitti, Takagi now 4th. Tony Kanaan 5th. Shinji Nakano in 6th.
Oh, the Bell drop kicks Michel Jourdain.
Is he all right? I think he stalled it. No, he didn't.
Do we need a yellow? Or can we go?
Yes, the yellow is back out in the hands of Jim Swintel. Another set of tortured Bridgestone Potenzas on the wheel hubs of Michel Jourdain Jr. Well, we'll give it another try. We'll figure this out.
Okay, boys. Let's go back to the classroom.
There's Michel Jourdain Jr. in the Gigante sponsored car.
Bell,
Alpha Depot of Mexico.
Bell had taken himself from the back into the top 10. Jourdain was running 12th. Remember, Jourdain had come out of sequence earlier, then had that awful pit stop. He's beginning to turn the wheel back and forth just to see, is there any damage? Bell will do the same thing.
I mentioned Townsend Bell, the young American driver, has a sour stomach this weekend. Here's another look.
Here it is right here. Oh. You know what? It looked like Townsend just drop kicked
into the back of him, yeah.
I don't think it was even wheel to wheel.
I wonder if he looked down in the cockpit or something. He just ran into the back.
Yeah, I don't believe it was even wheel to wheel. It looked like nose to gearbox. Yeah, I mean, obviously Jourdain got on the brakes. Townsend Bell didn't expect it. Yeah, he just runs right in the back.
Well, 2 cars ahead of Townsend Bell on the racetrack is Mario Dominguez, and that is his competition for CART's Jim Truman Rookie of the Year award. Bell leads. Here's the look from the Honda Skycam.
Man, Junqueira just went through there without damage, as did Tag and Paul Tracy. Right there.
In a little battle of their own. There is Mario Dominguez. Great paint job on the Herdez car. Recently renumbered from 16, which was the number most closely associated with the former owner of the team, the late Tony Bettenhausen, one of the great clans in American open wheel racing. But that tie has now been severed. Herdez owns the team. They renumbered the car 52. They have a great young driver in Mario Dominguez.
Yes, they do. When we went to Mexico, to Monterrey, Mexico, believe it or not, they promote the driver so well. There were billboards, they're 50 feet long, 200 feet high on the buildings, and Dominguez, as a rookie, was even on one.
This week on The Late Show, Dave welcomes Jennifer Lopez, Jack Hanna's Animals, Chris Rock, Natalie Portman, Stupid Human Tricks, Jodie Foster, and The Rock. It's all this week on The Late Show with David Letterman. And on the Letterman leaderboard, 2 drivers who work for Team Rahal, in which David Letterman is a principal. Jimmy Vasser out of the race on the first lap. Michel Jourdain Jr. has had a very difficult day. Only slightly better than Jimmy's to this point. There is the young Mexican driver. Jan Bikas.
Well, you say he's had a difficult day. So has Team Rahal. Remember, they do not have air jacks for this car. This time it does not catch them by surprise. They have much more time. We called it an ugly pit stop last time. Not too bad. 12.3 seconds. Ralph?
Well, we're here with Christian Fittipaldi, who has had an opportunity to get changed. Christian, when did you know you had a problem with the tire? Did you hear something for the crew, or did you just feel it yourself?
No, I heard TZ saying, no, 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 and I understood like everyone else understood, go, go, go. So then I left. Obviously, I thought everything was okay. As soon as I was in the middle of turn 1, they said, come back in, come back in. I said, okay, but a quarter of a tenth later, my wheel came off. That was it.
How much of this problem with the tires and the pit stops is that the pit crews are pushing so hard to help you guys out on the track?
No, you're absolutely right, because it's impossible to pass. The tires are very good. Like, for example, Bridgestone is doing a great job. The tires don't go off. So all the cars out there run exactly the same pace. It's impossible to pass. Everyone is really pushing it, and sometimes mistakes happen.
There's Alex Tagliani on his way back out. Let me get back to that Letterman leaderboard for a second. Seems like every time, and Dave, I know you're watching, every time we give you a shout out, something bad has happened or will happen to Jimmy Vasser. So,
and one of the promo
we may have a decision to make here.
One of the promoted items was the stupid human tricks.
I think
Jimmy and Kenny are candidates.
The Green Waves restart on lap 169 of 250. D'Amata, Junqueira, Franchitti, Takagi, Kanaan, Nakano, Dixon, Tagliani, Dominguez, and Tracy.
Actually, not Jimmy.
Around to complete the lap. Another good getaway for D'Amata.
And it appears to be such an advantage when you can get yourself into clean air, as Dixon tries to do down the inside of Dominguez. But Cristiano D'Amata can now control this until he gets to the magic number. When you get to lap 182, anytime from there on, you can stop and just make it without any more pit stops. That's a magic number 182, which is not that far away, 12 laps from now.
Looking for Paul Tracy. Ooh, lighting up the left front. That's Scott Dixon. Dominguez in the car ahead of him is a lap down. Behind him is Tracy, and you can be sure that Tracy has the bit firmly between his teeth.
And Tracy got a great run, and Dixon is in trouble. He locks that left front again. And this gives you an idea how hard they're on the brakes, despite the fact that it is a 125-mile-an-hour plus corner. You brake extremely hard here. I mentioned earlier, some of the drivers go down 2 gears, as most of the Honda drivers do. D'Amata, I know, only goes down 1 unless he's in traffic. Tracy got himself into the top 10. That is Dominguez ahead of him. That is for position. Tagliani is still shown in 8th place. There's the 2 gear changes for Tracy. Tracy's one of those guys, when you make him mad, suddenly you better stand back, because he will try anything in the book, and he is Mr. Aggressive and Mr. Excitement. Notice the wheel as he goes down the straight. The wheel is not straight. See the way it's at a slant like this? Pure driver preference. He likes the wheel to be in a certain position, and his hands as he rounds the corner to get it that way. It points to the right as he goes down this straight. You see the white line down on the inside? The white line right there. You're allowed to go below that white line, but only with your 2 inside wheels. In fact, you can put the whole car below the line if you want. As soon as your right wheels get near it, you are in for a penalty.
Paul Tracy was also steering into the stagger built into the right rear wheel of the car. That Bridgestone Potenza radial tire is actually 42/100ths of an inch longer in circumference than the left side tire. So a bigger right rear tire means the car wants to drift left, wants to turn left, and on an oval track, of course, that's all you do.
We're down here with Peter Gibbons, who is senior engineer on Cristiano D'Amata's car. Well, what is your pit strategy going to be now as you get down to the closing stages here?
We're in good shape. We're coming in on our max, which is 204, and we're set.
Now, what have you told your pit crew? We've seen some problems here in recent races where the crews are working so hard and so feverishly. Are you trying to keep them calm?
Absolutely. We tell them I'll take a little slower, get them all on.
They're getting ready to go, Bob.
Going for their 3rd straight victory with Cristiano D'Amata.
And Bob, he mentions his magic number of 204. That's the sequence they're on, and at 204, they only have 46 laps to go, so they need nowhere near a full tank of fuel. So the next stop for all these leaders will all be short fills, timed. And that'll make it really difficult on the guys trying to put on 4 wheels.
Cristiano D'Amata is in great shape, but Alex Tagliani is not. We'll talk about why when we return. CBS coverage of the Kart Grand Prix of Chicago will continue after this message and a word from your local station. Next Sunday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Paul Tracy joins Kenny Brack, Dario Franchitti, Christian Fittipaldi, Michael Andretti, and many more at the Molson Indy Toronto. Followed by Top international sports car drivers unleashing their sleek and fast machines on the famous 4-mile circuit of the Road America 500. For more, go to cbs.sportsline.com. America Online keyword CBS Sportsline. Back at Chicago Motor Speedway, here's another Toyota Spotlight, recapping the highlights or lowlights of the race thus far. If you are Jimmy Vasser, who was driven into the wall by Kenny Brack at the first turn, here's our first look at Brack's onboard camera. Problems for Patrick Carpentier and the Players Forsyth team out of the race. Michael Andretti the same, overheating in the Motorola car. Father Mario commiserated with his son. Christian Fittipaldi lost the left rear wheel after he was sent from his pit stop too soon. Third straight week for that in the CART FedEx Championship Series. Townsend Bell punted Michel Jourdain Jr. into a spin, but the man once again this weekend is D'Amata, the man in Chicago.
Well, he is the man, Bob, because he happens to have track position over everybody else in this top 10. Bruno Junqueira is only 0.7 of a second behind him, but Dario Franchitti still has the fastest car in this race. He has set the fastest lap of the race, just a skosh faster than D'Amata. So Dario Franchitti, if he can get some clear road and get himself to the front somehow, or if he didn't lose those vital positions in the pit lane, Franchitti would be the man.
Well, win his first in 2 years would be a huge boost. Excuse me, his first since last year would be a big boost for Dario, who's had one of those up and down seasons, although he has led some laps. Sat on pole for this race, was very cool while driver after driver took a shot at him in qualifying yesterday, including Adrian Fernandez and Michael Andretti, who withdrew their primary cars and ran their backups, so they had 2 shots at him. Here's Toru Takagi, known as Tiger, a man with Formula One experience. A protege of the Toyota Motor Racing Empire, having the best race of his career. His best ever finish, 4th on the Houston Street Race. That's no longer a part of the CART FedEx Championship Series schedule a year ago.
And there's no better man to have on your radio than Derek Walker, his team owner. He is almost like a coach. You hear him regularly say, great job, great job. He told him earlier, you have one of the fastest cars in the race. And if you think back to Motegi, he actually ran in 3rd place, catching the first 2 cars when he ran over an air hose in the pit lane and got a penalty. So Toru Takagi has shown very good form on these oval tracks in the past.
The man on the radio to him is the team owner, Derek.
8 laps to go. 8 laps.
That's the voice of Derek Walker, one of the great tactical minds in the pit lane.
He's given him laps to go now before he makes his pit stop. Remember, this is the Reynard chassis, and Derek Walker bought Reynard North America, so as this program with Takagi would not be compromised in any way. Now he has a whole slew of spare parts for his team and for anybody else that wants to run a Reynard.
Jan Bikas.
Kyle Moyer, we've heard the strategy D'Amata might use. He said the magic number was 204. What will you try?
Yeah, we're going to do the same. We're going to go to 204, run this stint out, and see if we can get a couple guys in the pits. That's our hope right now, to get around them. I mean, the guys in front of us are pretty fast, you know, but we had a couple goof ups in the pit stop there. But, you know, all in all, the crew's done a hell of a job this weekend. I mean, it's a brand new car that showed up here. It's a credit to the team and the guys back at the shop. I mean, it hasn't missed a beat all week. We just had a problem in the pit stop, but maybe we'll get something back here.
All right, best of luck on your next stop. Thank you.
Thanks, Young.
Ralph?
Bill Pappas is lead engineer for Bruno Junqueira. Bill, what's your pit strategy going to be here as this winds down?
I mean, he's done a great job. The guys in the pits have done a great job getting us up to the front. We're just going to put in as much fuel as we need to get to the end and let him do the rest on the track.
How much are you reminding your pit crew to stay calm out there today, since we've had problems with rear wheels again?
Well, we've been, you know, the guys have done a great job in the pit stop. Ricky makes sure everything's on the car before